Hey guys, Tara here from Recovering Book Hoarder, and it is time for our week 4 wrap up from 2025. Please excuse the wet hair. I have a birthday party to go to that starts at noon, but I want to tape this first, and so my hair is going to be wet because I just don't have the patience to dry it because it's, yeah. Anyway, so made lots of progress this week. I touched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 whips, and I had 2 new starts. Grand total of 6,018 stitches stitched this week, and I am pretty happy with that. So to start off, let's take a look at my whips. Not my whips. Let's take a look at my new starts. So this past week, the random new start for my 52 in 2025 is October Blooms from the Artsy Housewife, which looks like this. And I just fell in love with this house when I saw it. I mean, I love everything about it, but that house in particular, love it. Love a good house. All right, so this one is being done on 18 count Fox and Rabbit Kathy's Stormy Skies. I'm doing this as charted, and I got a total of 12,400. No, that's not right. I got a total of 1,248 stitches done on this new start. Let's see. Look how pretty. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love the black. I really have learned to like black outline, like a heavy black outline with pops of color in the middle. Yeah, so this was my random new start that my wheel chose for me, and I like that quite a bit. My next new start was not planned. This was, I got the Baringo prompt for Square 20 was inspired by your pet, and we have one bird, but it was my grandfather's, and it lives here in my basement with my husband. I would say that's more of my husband's pet, but I am the proud mama to 3 axolotls, and I adore my axolotls. So I had purchased Merry Menagerie from the Blue Flower specifically for this chart right here. I believe this was a Jingle Ball exclusive, but look how cute that is. And I am doing my own conversion. So I only did 100 stitches on this because it is, it was just like a random start. All right, I used the leftovers from Bentley Badger over here, and which was like, I think it's called Glass from Picture This Plus. It is a 16 count, I believe, and that is what I have started. That's just the bottom of the bauble there. And the variegated floss is a flower silk. How pretty that is. It is called Devil's Crossroads. And so I'll show you the color palette that I'm using. It's quite pretty. So for the bauble, like, these are the colors I'm using for the bauble. So look like that. And then for the axolotl, I'm using these Leo and Roxy. So unexpected start, but I'm never upset about a new start. Okay, so let's move into my whips. And the first thing I worked on was Black Vintage Sampler, which I showed you guys last time. So I'll put up, oh, hold on. Okay, sorry about that interruption. Quick side note here. My husband called me. He wanted me to just look at a picture. So my mother-in-law is moving into like a older living community, and so they're cleaning out their house, and my husband found this giant box of Legos that he had, not Legos, G.I. Joes from the 80s that he had, and he put them up on eBay, and so far they're bringing in $600 so far, and there's still 4 days to go, and that's insane to me. So anyway, okay, back to Black Vintage Sampler. So I'm going to go ahead and, I decided I don't like putting the progress right next to it. It's too hard to see. I have to make them too small. So I'm going to put my, what it looked like before up on the screen before I hold up my actual project. So you'll see what it looked like prior to. So this one will look like this. I mean, that's the pictures that'll be on it. It doesn't look anything like that because, of course, I've done my own conversion. It's a conversion to sulky. And I adore this piece just so much. So I am working down in the ocean because, well, you know, here's the thing. When I looked at this initially, it didn't like dawn on me that you've got, so you've got down here is like the ocean, and then you have like the street view, and then you have the aerial view. So I'm in the ocean. This is what it looks like from far away, but then the parts that I worked on are down in there. And isn't it fun? I just love it so much. I mean, I like variety, and I would probably get tired of working on it if I only worked on it. But I work on it enough that I'm excited to come back to it. Like, I'm not quite ready to be done with it whenever I finish my stitches. Oh, and I had, okay, so for that, I had 200 stitches for I Spy, which is, the prompt was something I would love to finish this year. I Spy is a game played over Laura at Stitching by the Shore. It's her game, and it's a monthly game that she announces. Check out her channel. Laura's very enabling, just a warning. I got 300 stitches for the scavenger hunt for the umbrella, because there's an umbrella in the picture. 100 stitches towards categories, and that was, the category was travel, and so there's a carriage in that picture. And then 476 stitches for the Bringo Square 8, which was for your favorite favorite movie was the prompt. I'm one of those people that just can't pick favorites of things. So I had to narrow that down. So I went with favorite Christmas movie. And my favorite Christmas movie is White Christmas. And so the length of time you had to stitch for the length of time of the movie. The movie is like 1 hour and 59 minutes long. So I just went with 2 hours. And over that 2-hour period, I got 476 stitches. So Black Vintage Sampler got a total of 1,076 stitches this week. After that, I went to, I can't remember which square this was, but it was the Bringo square for something picked by someone else. And instead of having like an actual person pick out for me what I was going to do, I just used my random wheel. And the project that came up was 525,600 from the Rent Box by Taylor and Cromwell. And I just did the 100 required stitches on this. And it was just essentially the red fill-in on the 6 and this, some of the color in there is where I got. And this was a piece, I don't think I had touched this piece at all last year. So far I've already touched this one twice this year. I really am liking this way of stitching. All right, after that, I worked on This Kitchen is for Dancing. This is by Stitch Rovia, and this was square 5 for Baringo, and the prompt was from a magazine, and this was from the World of Cross Stitching. Looks like this, and I am doing my own conversion to Fancy Floss from Stash. And this is going to be a gift for my mom because we always danced and still dance in the kitchen. Jitterbug, grease, you name it, we're dancing to it. And this is just, I love this stitch. It's so fun, and I really like the colors that I've chosen. All right, so 100 for that. After that was square 13 for Baringo. And that was a gift for someone else. So for this, I went with the Union Jack from Bivsters, which I am doing as a gift for Cassidy, who is a proud British citizen. 100 stitches, did I say that? So this wasn't a ton of progress, but hey, every stitch counts. So this is the full project here. And what I worked on is up in here, I did the white that was down in that Quaker. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. It's either that one or the, yeah, I think it was that one, that little bit of white down there. So 100 stitches on that. I know I say it every time, but I love this and I really want to do some more of her flags, but I want to finish one before I start another one. All right, so moving on, next up was Sleigh Ride, and this is from Praiseworthy Stitches. I did 200 stitches for I Spy, and the category for that was something related to winter, and then 315 stitches towards the scavenger hunt. The prompt is dog, and so here's the picture. There's a couple dogs, but right there is the one I circled, I believe, on my scavenger hunt. Yeah, right there. And this is such a fun stitch. And I know I said I wasn't going to use any more cray neck, but here's the thing. Listen, if you're new to cross stitch, what I have to say is, don't automatically say you do something and you're like, I don't like this, I'm not going to do it anymore. Because I have learned that if you continue to come back to it, don't force yourself to continue to do it like day after day after day. But if I take breaks in between and I come back to it, I'm like, you know what, that really wasn't that bad. And who knows, maybe I'll even come across something I actually love. But I did the same thing with black fabric. I'm doing well with black fabric now. I thought I would never stitch on it again, but I have overcome that. Not my favorite thing to stitch on, but I can do it and it doesn't drive me crazy. So metallic threads, cray neck is one of those things. Really what I can say, I will never use the DMC metallics again. They're just very unwieldy, and I don't like how they feel and how they split and things like that. The cray neck blending filament is different, and I'm holding it with one strand of DMC and one strand of blending filament. So I haven't done it everywhere it's called for, but I did start using it again in the section that I just did. So here's the overall piece. I had all previously done cray neck in there, so I don't know if you can see it sparkling or not, but this time I worked down here and I did a bunch of the letters. The cray neck is in the outline of the snow up here, and I did all of this over here. So got quite a bit done. This does call for some French knots. I'm not very good at French knots, and I do try them. Occasionally I'll come back to them and try them, and this time I was trying them and I could not make the French knot to save my life. I was watching my videos. I think I tried it 10 or 15 times before I gave up, and I'm like, forget it. I'll either come back and try it again, or I might just replace the French knots with some beads that I have in the stash. We'll see. All right, so that was, I don't know if I said it or not, a grand total of 515 stitches on that. All right, after that, I pulled out my vintage Halloween carousel, and this is from the Witchy Stitcher. I did 100 stitches for categories. The category was leisure, and so I went with carousel. And I should have said the letters this month for categories, there's 3 letters. There's 3 because one of the letters pulled is a V, which technically is not a categories letter, but so it was an option. V, C, and K were the letters. So carousel. I did also an additional 432 towards the scavenger hunt, and the prompt for that is cat, because there is a cat head on the top of the carousel, as you can see. And I love these colors so much. I really want to do a sampler in these colors, I think. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I get caught up looking at things because it's just beautiful. So there's not a ton of colors, but the palette's gorgeous. So here is where I got, and I had not much of a start at all on this. So I'm happy to have gotten, all I had in was like kind of that, well, you have seen it, but it was just black. And so I'm happy to get some of the color in there. So total of 532 stitches on that. Oh, look, I am like not doing good with putting things back. Forgot to put back the place for these stitches. Cover. And I have to do this as I go because otherwise it would be a disaster. And yeah. Okay. Drink. This is my mega tea. I drink 2 of these a day and I love them. Okay. For Bringo, square 11 was a stitch that you would take on vacation. And I did literally take this on vacation. I took this with me to Disney this year. Well, not this year, because now it's 2025. I took it with me to Disney in September of 2024. And this is the Fab 50 Sal, and this is from Abby Sue Designs. I do not believe you can get this anymore. It's a big piece. It is big. And it is modeled off of the 50 golden statues that are in the parks that were put there for the 50th anniversary. This is, I mean, look, this thing is gigantic. Isn't this great fabric, though? Yeah, okay. So that's what it'll look like overall. My progress was in the back stitch for Pluto. I am trying to do the back stitch as I go. So Pluto had no back stitch, and now, I mean, back stitches, can we just acknowledge the magic that is back stitch? How cute is he? And he looked like a blob before the back stitch was added. So, oh, I absolutely adore it. Yeah. So I don't know how many actual stitches it was. I was initially keeping track. It was definitely more than 100 stitches I needed. So like in my planner, I just put the total for that day and then a plus sign next to it because I'm just not sure how many back stitches it was. I lost count. It was a lot. All right, then I pulled out Knight and Castle, and this is one of my older whips, and it's one of my older whips that I absolutely adore and still love pulling out. And when I get started on it, I do not want to put it down. So I did for categories. The category was mystical. It's like mystical, fantasy, and mythical, I think, are the 3 things to choose from. And there's a castle, and I consider that to be in all fantasy stuff. There's usually castles. And so I got 177 stitches for that. And then I did 603 stitches for I Spy. And the prompt was something regal. And obviously, a knight in a castle is regal. So this is what it will look like when it's done. I am doing my own conversion. The middle, you'll see, is pretty close to that color. But then the border of the middle and then the outside, all of these are going to be in different blues and purples. I've primarily been working on the middle. I haven't gotten into any of those Quaker motifs yet. Another big boys is going to be a tapestry. So where I worked this time was up here, and I got more of the leaves done, and then I added in the those 2 border lines also up there. And that was a grand total of 780 stitches. I love big projects. I hate how unwieldy the fabric is. Trying to get it into my... I wasn't using grime guards before, but I am now because I'm trying to keep, my fabric clean around the outside. And that has made a huge difference. As you know, using specialty flosses, I can't always wash them afterwards because they're all color fast. I forgot to put the picture back again. So, yeah, yes to the grime guard, but it like kind of squinches up my fabric, but I do prefer using the fabric over these things here, these magnets. Like, these are nice to hold up your fabric, but I feel like it pulls on my fabric in a weird way and it like distorts it somewhat. So I prefer the grime guard to hold up my fabric. All right, next up, I worked on Hobbit Hole. This was 123 stitches towards Bringo. It was square 21, which is part of a series. And then 306 stitches just because I wanted to keep working on it. And this is what the Hobbit Hole looks like. Hobbit house looks like. And I want to be a Hobbit. A Hobbit is if I could be any fantasy character, it would be a Hobbit. I am doing this on a piece of 18 count faded hippie from Fox and Rabbit. And I am doing as charted. And this is where we are. So the work I did was some more of the black, the like darker browns, and then some of the greens in here. And then I started adding some of the green up there. Oh, and the leaves, those are new too up there. And these are fantastic patterns. Now you've heard me say it before, but for Cottage Garden samplings for the Fabulous House series, I have all but 2. Oh, I should also say, okay, so I did talk about the I Spy. I keep saying Baringo. Baringo is an event that was hosted over at the Magazine Monthly cross-stitch page. It is open to join anytime. They do another, this is my first year doing it. I do know they do another bingo activity like this later on in the year called AB Singo. And they also do acrostics and anagrams, themes of the month, like that kind of thing. So if you like games, that's a great place to go that you could go and join anytime. And then, as I'm saying, Scattergories, that is an event that's hosted over at Whip Warriors. Whip Warriors is currently a closed group. They just closed at the end of December. It requires participation. You have to get a minimum of what they refer to as 3 threads every month in order to continue with the group. And I know I've got more than 3. From what's been graded so far, I know I've gotten 2 threads, but I know I've gotten like way more than that. Stuff just hasn't been graded yet. So, which is fine. Like, that's not a complaint. That's just saying, I'm assuming they probably do the grading probably like the first or second week of the next month. So that's, I am definitely doing Scattergories with them every month. And then they have pop-ups also. I'm doing the Beat the Modman each month. They have, that's where the scavenger hunt is through them also. That's a year-long event. And then the other thing I'm doing is Monopoly with Jen the Caffeinated Crafter. And there was no calls for that this week. So I'll talk more about Monopoly whenever we get into plans. Okay, back to progress. After Hobbit Hole, I had a Bringo square. I didn't write down which one it was, but I didn't write down the number. But the topic was related to your astrological sign. My astrological sign is Aries, which means I'm a fire sign. So I thought fire, looked through my stuff, I've got dragons. And these dragons definitely do breathe fire. So I did 138 stitches on my 4th wing project. This is from, I want to say it's Maya Stitches on Etsy. You can't get this anymore. So I don't know if there was a copyright issue with like intellectual property kind of thing. I don't know. I just know last I checked it was no longer available and hadn't been for a while. So here are Violet's dragons. And then there's also wording that'll be down here. A rider, what is this? A rider without, something about dragon without it, the quote about the dragon without its rider, and then the rider without its dragon. So this is, so far that I've just used black, and then there's a dinky dye. There's very few colors in this, but I am going to be using beads instead of French knots. And then in here, he has like constellations on his tail, on his scales. The fabric is a printed Charles Craft fabric from, that I had picked up from Michael's. 14 counts. There is no name that I'm aware of for the color. It's just the one that looks like the sky. All right, after that, I did a category, and the category was favorite, and we'll call it one of my favorite tropes for everything, for reading, for stitching, for music, for everything, is like wicked fairs, wicked carnivals, circus, all that stuff. So there is a circus tent in this chart, and that's why I went with it. So this is Wicked Fair, and this is from Atomic Tiki Pin. And this just reminds me so much of the Night Circus, which is like my favorite book of all time. So that's what that one looks like. And I did 100 stitches on this one. And the stitches are in I added in the gold up there. So this one, not much done, but 100 stitches here and there will get a project done. After that, I pulled out Autumn is Joyful. For categories, Autumn is Joyful is from Lilo Studio. 100 stitches for categories. The prompt was animal, and so there's a cat in here. And then 300 stitches for scavenger hunt for pumpkin, and there's several pumpkins in here. So this is what it looks like. And I had considered changing the quote in here, because I mean, it just doesn't sound like autumn is as joyful and sweet as an untimely end. I'll be honest, like, I don't understand it. So there is an explanation though, so let me read it to you. Remy de Gourmont, French poet and novelist. Autumn is a beautiful time of year. Yes, it's always sad that summer's over, but that doesn't mean fall isn't worthy of the same affection. The leaves change from green to an incredible display of vibrant colors. Fall is a time of preparation for rebirth. Bears fatten up for the long winter hibernation. Squirrels stockpile acorns, and trees shed their leaves to make themselves hardier for the coming cold. When nature reawakens in spring, this long rest will have served them well. I'll be honest, I do like that sentiment, so I'm going to keep that quote as it is. I haven't seen many people that are keeping it, so I'll be the oddball. So like I said, okay, so for this one, it is a total of 400 stitches. And I'll tell you what I'm doing on in a second. I added in the back stitch to the leaves. And then I did this little thing here, and then got started on that motif up there. And this is being done on a piece of 40 count platinum Newcastle linen from Zweigart, and I love Newcastle linen. All right, last whip. I worked on Coffee Break, and I don't know who this is by. So I had gotten this off of Etsy whenever I first came back into stitching. I now know it's an old kit. I don't know who did the kit to begin with. But the pattern is from an old kit. I don't even know the Coffee Break's the official, like, real name from the kit, but that's what the pattern is called. So I had to put a picture of what it looks like up here. And I love the way this is turning out, and I adore how the back stitch and stuff looks in this. So this is where I'm at here. My progress was I didn't have any of this in here previously, so adding into there. I mean, the back stitching on this is just amazing, and there's so much depth in this pattern. The color choices are phenomenal. I adore this, and this is going to get hung up in my kitchen in my little coffee bar. All right, so that is my progress. So let's see. Let's talk about plans. Yes, let's talk about plans next. So I was talking to you guys about Monopoly. So I am playing Monopoly with Jen the Caffeinated Crafter. link below in the description box. And she has officially announced this week that Monopoly is going to be an every 2-week activity because stitches are getting higher for it. And she does a ton. Temperature stitching. She does stitching to different game shows. She does Whip of Shame. She has a weekly stitching she does. So she has a lot going on. So she has decided to change to every 2 weeks for Monopoly. So anything I haven't talked about yet this video, I will just put the picture up here of what we're going to be working on. So there's 100 stitches I'll be doing towards Yellow Submarine from Blackbird Designs. 400 stitches towards the Jack Frost Tree Farm from Needlework. I can't remember. The designer will be on the picture that I show you. 200 stitches towards the Hobbit House. 400 stitches on the Beautiful sampler. And then 400 stitches on Shakespeare quotes from Taylor and Cromwell. There's 1 square left for Baringo, and then I'll have a cover. I'll have blacked out my entire card. And for that, it was square number 1, which is a fantasy theme, and I'm pulling Knight and Castle back out for that one. I have 2 more left to do for the I Spy game. I will be doing Shakespeare quotes. That's for intended to finish this year, so that'll get 200. So that'll be a total of 600 stitches for Shakespeare quotes. And then the last prompt I have for that is the letter J, and I will be doing 200 stitches towards Jesus Smiles, which is artwork from Greg Olson that I put into just a conversion software and did myself. And then our new start, the planned new start for this week, I'll put my wheel up here. We spun a 48. And so this is actually like a very small. This is a very small. This is from the Annabella's Needle Art. It's Finally Fall. It's this book here. And I am starting this pillow back here, which is called Fall Quilt. So here's it's right here. And I am using a scrap piece of linen I had gotten in a mystery box. And the color palette, that is going to be our color palette. I have not pulled the floss yet, but I'm going to pull them from my Fancy Flosses stash up there. So this is going to be my start. This may just be a staff, honestly. It might be a start and finish if it's as small as I think it's going to be, which it is. Yeah, it might be a start and finish. We'll see. It's only 49 by 49. So yeah, okay, that's our new start. All right, so haul. I don't have any haul, but I do have an update on my almond M&M order. So I think I had told you guys I had placed an order for almond M&M's silks. I was treating myself. I was going to use it for my Permanent of Copenhagen sampler. Placed it October 7th, but I never heard anything. I gave it did settle out up to 6 weeks for shipping. I did that. I gave it 8 weeks. Started trying to contact Ymir through the website, through her website form, and tried that 3 times. So that took us into January. And then I opened the claim in PayPal when I still hadn't heard anything from her. I gave her like a week each time, at least a week to get back to me each time, and never heard anything. So I opened the claim. I never heard anything from her, but I then did get a confirmation that it had shipped. And I was so excited. First of all, so happy to see that Ymir's okay, because I had legitimately started to worry that something had happened to her, because I get the processing can take longer, but there was nothing on the website saying, you know, due to whatever, it's going to take a lot longer for the orders to process. Please be patient. It had said 6 weeks, so that's what was going on. So I got the notification that it shipped. So first of all, so happy to see that Ymir is okay, and I was so excited. Okay, so get the notification. Then I get it was supposed to be here Friday. Then I get a thing saying it's delayed because of weather. Well, it shows up at my house on Thursday. So excited. I opened it up and it wasn't my order. It was addressed to me, but inside was the packaging slip, and it had somebody else's name on it. And then when I opened the item, it was not what I had ordered. It was beautiful, and let me just tell you, it's made me so excited for mine. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous, and they feel amazing. So I thought, I wonder if I can find this person on Facebook, because it did have, I mean, it had their address and it had their first and last name. So Mary Ann, I just wanted to say thank you for answering my message. We communicated back and forth. I thought maybe mine had been sent by her to her by mistake. Thursday it hadn't been, but then Friday she sent me a message and said, guess what arrived today? And she sent me a picture, and I'm so excited. So my order's with Mary Ann. I have Mary Ann's order. We are just going to, since the shipping, information was in the stuff that we each got from each other, we're going to just go ahead and ship those to each other this upcoming week. And we'll have successfully had our orders. So I just have to say, okay, yes, it took long. Yes, there's a mistake, but the quality of this floss is really a cut above. A cut above. So and the color is, so I only got to see and touch Mary Ann's order, which I didn't like touch it too much. I just had to feel what it felt like. Absolutely gorgeous. But again, I just want to say thank you so much, Mary Ann, for responding to my message and for getting me my floss, and I will have yours shipped out hopefully this Monday. Okay, so that's all I have in regard to haul. So if that's all you're here for the stitching, then thank you for stopping in to see me and catching up with me this week. I have just a couple of brief life updates. So I just have to tell you, I ended my week by running into my wall. Okay, so like I was saying, my mom and I are both really clumsy, and my mom this year has like broken things, like needed stitches, that kind of stuff. Very like obvious, visible klutzy. Mine's never visible. Like I don't break things. I somehow end up without bruises. I really thought I was going to get a bruise this time. So I went to throw something away, and my garbage can is like right against a wall that then here's the wall, and here's the edge of the wall, and it goes into an open area that you can see my back door from. So I think what happened was I was throwing it away, and it was like on my way to bed. So I was checking to make sure that my back door was locked. And I think I must have, like, ADHD brain. I think I must have started to walk forwards, but I hadn't cleared the wall, and I was still throwing that away. So I literally ran into the wall right here. I cannot believe there's not a bruise. It's so tender to the touch, and there is a goose egg there. That was 2 days ago. So yeah, I went in, my husband was already in bed, and I was like, I just ran into the wall. He's like, how did you do that? I said, if I don't wake up in the morning, it's because I have a concussion. So anyway, no bruise. But man, it's quite tender. And of course, my magnifiers that I wear for stitching, every time I push them up, they hit right there. So that's how, was like the end to my week. I did get to spend Thursday evening with my girlies. I had to work later, so I didn't get to pick Ava up from school, but I did go over and see them and ate dinner there. We had my favorite tacos. Got to do some coloring, played this new like putt-putt golf game where you have a little putter and you have these like plastic balls that have Velcro on them, and then you use the putter and then the Velcro sticks to this like course, and there's different scores there. It's a really cute, fun little game for inside. So played that. Let's see, Cassidy had got to spend the day with my sister-in-law who's in from Germany. She got to get her Christmas gift, which was they went together and she got her hair done for her. So Cassidy had a really cool, her hair was awesome. It was like as long as mine, and she had it, half was black and the other half was like a very pale, I don't want to say yellow. It was like a very pale blonde. in honor of Melanie Martinez, which is who she was for Halloween this year. I'll put a picture of her up here because it's just so cute. So she really wanted to do something. I mean, her roots have really grown out a lot. Unfortunately, her hairstylist is currently on maternity leave, so she didn't think she'd be able to get anything done to it. So she did get quite a bit chopped off, and it is now like a dark brown with like purple reddish hues to it. So I'll put a picture over here of what she looks like. It looks so pretty. I love it so much. I just want to touch her hair, like play with her hair now all the time. Today I have my my cousin Brianna, her son. It's his first birthday party. So we have that from 12 to 2. And then Cass and I are going to head up to Robinson, which is like our local shopping area, you know, like the busy shopping area around that had like a little bit of everything. So I need to stop at Hobby Lobby because I have a couple of flosses written down that I need for projects. And they definitely have the cheapest prices. And then I told Cass, just let me know if you want to go anywhere else up there. And I know for sure she wants to go to the mall. So we're going to do that today. So that will be my plans. Hopefully when I'll be able to have some time to stitch now, between now and whenever we leave for the party, which is just I don't know, maybe an hour or two. And then we'll be able to stitch whenever I get home later on this evening. Oh, listen, I've set my alarm this morning. The red box from Hands Across the Sea Samplers went on sale today. All Things Bright and Beautiful, which All Things Bright and Beautiful is one of my favorite books by James Herriot. Absolutely love it. The show is so good. And I'm sure, I don't know that it has anything to do with that, but I thought this is like a sign. I need to get this. So my birthday's in April. So it's my birthday present to myself. Then I also used some money I got for Christmas from my mother-in-law for it. And I was lucky enough to get it. It took me 45 minutes to get the order to go through. I think their servers were pretty clogged because, you know, it's a limited edition box. Once it's gone, it's gone. But there's 16 samplers that will only ever be available with that box. And then 7 additional goodies with it. And I am just so excited to get that. And I'm so happy I got my hands on it. I was really worried that it would sell out before I could get it. So I guess that's additional haul. But I won't be able to show it to you for a month after I get it because there's like a month like gag order on it just to make sure everybody gets theirs before any unboxings happen on social media. So I'll just be able to hold it up and show you the actual outside of the box when I get it. All right, I think that is it for this week. If there is anywhere you want to connect with me, like if you want to connect with me outside of here, anywhere you could hope to connect with me is down in the description box. And I will catch up with you guys next week. Happy stitching. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday and an amazing upcoming week. Bye, guys.